Hello there, this is DBT and this is Art of Runes. And alright, let's continue playing some more Asphalt Legends. And today, I will be talking about and playing with the card that you see on the screen right now, which is the Lotus E-R9. And of course, this has to do with the fact that there's a special event running for it right now, but also a free try in MP2, so of course I'll take the opportunity to drive it. But before I get into it, if you enjoy my content, please hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel. Doing this helps the channel to grow, more people can find this video, and as usual in YouTube, more eyes is more better. So go ahead, help me out by hitting that like button and subscribing, and pressing the hype button if you see it as well. But alright, as I just mentioned, there's an event, a special event for this card running right now. It has been running for some days by now, and you might be wondering, hey DBT, why haven't you made a video on this event? What's up with that? You usually do a full breakdown and know what's happening. Well, fear not, because I did make the video, but I did it a couple of weeks ago. If you don't know, in the Nintendo Switch, this patch was delayed by a couple of weeks, and they gave us this event early because, well, at least this didn't require any of the new cars. So because of that, I already made an entire video talking about it, doing the whole breakdown with the spreadsheet, the calculator, and all of that. I'll put the link in the top right so that you can check that video if you want to see the entire breakdown or use the calculator. I'll also link it in the description in this video. But what I can tell you about this event is that if you're aiming to get the Lotus E-R9, you basically have to complete the event to 100%. You need to have all of these support cars at max stars in order to get the key for the Lotus E-R9. Oh, and of course also you have to have the Lotus E-R9 at max stars. So if you're thinking, man, I really want this car, but you don't have the support cars, you're gonna have to spend a ton of tokens into max starring up the, what is this? The Lamborghini Miura, the Pagani, which one is this? The HP Barquera, the Lambo Reventon, the Toyota Super Sport, whatever this is. I always forget the name of this thing. What is it called? Toyota GR Super Sport Concept. There you go. I got it eventually. The Zenvo TSRS and the GTA Spano. All of those you need to have at max stars, and then you can finally, you still need to max star up the Lotus E-R9. So it's a bit of a pain in the rear side, but hey, if you have these cars at max stars, you should be able to make some really good progress over here and just spend tokens in maxing out the E-R9. But like I said, there's a free try for it in MP2, and I want to drive it because, man, I don't have too many opportunities to play with this thing, so of course I'll take the opportunity. If you're unfamiliar with the car, this is this is the highest ranked Class B car at the moment in the game. So in theory, it's the king of Class B, regardless of how it performs, at least when it comes to rank. But having a look at it, Class B, 6 stars, maximum rank of 4403, and the top speed at 365 is considerably fast. It's faster than the average of Class B, definitely, but it's not the fastest. Acceleration at 87.44, really strong. Handling of 68, it's slightly okay. It's slightly good, but nothing amazing, and the Nitro at 51 is not particularly strong either, but let's go ahead and test it out. Now, as I mentioned in that other video, again, where I did the breakdown of this event, when I saw in the patch notes that this event was going to happen and I saw the support cars, I got really excited because I was like, man, I have a bunch of these cars. Oh my god, I do. Because I do. Well, I mean, in my Nintendo Switch account, you know, that is my better account where I have more cars and high stars and all of that. But then I realized that the main roadblock was going to be the GTA Spano because, you know, I never cared about that car, and of course, it comes to bite me in the rear side, and I needed it in order to get my Lotus E-R9. Now, I could have committed to spending a bunch of tokens into max starring that thing, but then I would still need to spend a bunch of tokens into max starring the Lotus E-R9 to get the key. So that is a ton of tokens that I would need to spend in order to just get this car. And like I said, it may be the highest ranked cars, it's one of the elite Class B cars in the game and all of that stuff, but while it is a very cool car and I would like to have it in my collection because it looks super weird and, you know, I like these weird cars, yeah, it's not really worth all of the tokens that I would have needed to spend in order to get it. So, nah, I'm okay with just skipping on it again. Maybe someday, if they repeat this event, wow, the overtake. If they repeat the event, maybe I will have an opportunity to get this car if I have already the the GTA Spano higher stars, but I'm not holding my breath for that. I suppose it would be easier if eventually they put these cars as a support for something else. But hey, whatever, we'll see. All right, first race, and it's gonna be a second place, which is not amazing, but there's something to consider when it comes to these really high tier class B cars, and that is that they're very overranked. But all right, I got beaten by one Lotus E-R9, but I did beat everything else, including a Fenner, SE18s, and some Asphalt. Nice. So like I was saying, pretty much all of the high tier cars of any class are very, very overranked. And here in MP2, where the matchmaking is calculated through the rank of the car that you are using, it makes it so that a car that is very highly ranked is going to be matched against cars of other classes of similar rank. So what that means is that for a Class V car of a rank of 4400, it easily gets matched against really, really strong Class A cars and also some quite powerful Class S cars. Now, even if the Class S cars are not necessarily the most strong out there at a rank of 4500, they're still considerably faster than something like this. So that is why usually this type of... Oh, RIP to that dude. Woof. He just hit the divider. But yeah, cars that have a very high rank like this can end up being a problem in MP2. However, because right now, obviously, it's a free try, a lot of people are going to be using this and some other free tries as well. So it makes it so that this rank is going to be highly populated by this same car that I am driving. So it will make into a bit of an interesting opportunity to drive it against some of the other cars, but still. The Fenner is also a free try in this multiplayer series. Again, it's of a close rank to this somewhat similar rank. And the Fenner definitely goes faster than this, though to be fair, the acceleration on this thing is kind of bonkers. But yeah, something's right behind me and they might just overtake me unless... No, I kept it. Beautiful. And what was that? Wait, was that a Vayan? I think that was a Vayan. Yeah, look at that. A Vayan. What was I saying? Vayan Ultima. Yep, there you have it. Okay, well, we're in India, and this is definitely a top speed oriented track, but I don't see super fast cars. Well, the Ultima is faster than my car by like, let me think, 360 versus, yeah, like 50 kilometers of difference in the speed. So, woof, that's quite a bit, but hey, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, this whole thing of the matchmaking with the ranks and all of that, it just creates this issue where, again, it's a relatively, no, it is quite a bit of an unfair fight, a Class B versus a Class S. Obviously, as per usual, it has a lot to do also with the skill level. Obviously, if someone is driving a Class S car, but they're really bad at it, well, they're not gonna be able to do a whole lot. But two people with the same skill level, one using this car and someone else using a Class S car, the Class S car is very likely to just straight up obliterate the Class V. So that is why I have proposed the idea internally, you know, through the content creator program. I've proposed this idea that I hope Gameloft at least considers, that the matchmaking here in MP2 should be MP2. Ah, Jesus, oh my God. Just because I touched the first wall on the right side, it bounced me to the left on the second, and I hit the third one. It's fine. I have this idea of how multiplayer could... Oh my God! I couldn't steer enough. And I'm still in third place. What? Oh, this race is an absolute show, and yet I'm still not doing super terrible. So yay! Well, that was absolutely terrible. Two people just disconnected, and yeah. All right. Well. I'm gonna tell you, I don't feel proud about this one. It just went really bad real quick. But okay, sure. I still kept the third place. Yeah, it's fine. I'm okay. All right. Coming back to the idea of the previous video that I couldn't complete because I kept on crashing. So my thought on how MP2 should work is, or rather, first the explanation as to how it works right now. Like I said, the matchmaking is calculated through the car, your current car's rank, right? So if you're driving a car of a rank of 4400, it's gonna try to put you against other cars of 4400, a little bit higher, 45, 46, a little bit lower, 43, 42, you know, that's kind of how it works, right? So I know that some people are like, but no, I've seen sometimes cars of a rank of 700 points above and all of that. Yeah, there's an explanation for that, but I won't get into it right now. The point is that it tries to put you with cars of similar rank, and that's all it does. It checks the ranks, and you know, if they're close enough for the criteria of the matchmaking. Oh boy, that's terrible. Oh my God, oh my God, I survived somehow. Chair shots. Ah! I'm fine. Why do I keep on crashing whenever I want to talk about this guy? Damn it! I'm fine. I already lost, so might as well finish my idea. So instead of just doing that calculation or that one single consideration for the matchmaking, my suggestion is that it takes into account two. One, the first one is going to be the rank. So it's like, okay, I'm going to group a bunch of players of a rank of 4,400. All right, there we go. They've been grouped together. But then I'm going to have an additional consideration, a second filter of class, so that it would specifically try to first match cars of the same class and then neighboring classes, you know. In that way, if I bring a Class B car of 4,400, it will try to do Class B versus Class B, and if not, Class B versus Class C or Class A. But avoid going any further than that. Don't try to match it against Class S. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Microsoft Paint jump scare. How about this? All right, so basically we have Class D, we got Class C, Class B, Class A, and Class S, right? So if I'm doing a car of a rank of 4,400 in Class B, what I should do is then try to match me with 4,400s of Class C and 4,400s of Class A. But do not try to get into Class S, because that is when it gets super unfair, or against Class D. Now, granted, there's no Class D of 4,400. But where I'm going with this is that, for example, if you're driving a Class C car of a rank of 3,000, let's do 3K, it will try to go for the neighboring classes of B and D, right? And there is Class D of 3,000 and Class B of 3,000. And if you go for a rank of, I don't know, again, 3,200, that's a 2, I promise, then tries to go for 3,200 of Class B and Class S. But don't try to go into Class C or anything like that. That is kind of how I wish this worked. Because, for example, in this race, we have already a Chiron of a rank of like 4,200. Man, a Chiron at this rank, it's still going to go like 430 kilometers an hour. That is like 70 kilometers faster than my car, you know? That's what I'm saying, that I wish it was done in that way. Now, technically speaking, the best way to fix this whole thing is if the ranks actually made sense and a car of Class B of 4,400 had a similar or comparable performance than a Class A of 4,400 or a Class S of 4,400. But since that's not the case, and it will take a lot more to fix the entirety of all of the ranks in the game, I think my solution would be a simpler one, an easier one to implement. Meanwhile, or, you know, in case GameLoft never is focusing on fixing the ranks. Now, hopefully they will at some point fix the rank, but honestly, I have my doubts, because again, imagine having to recalculate the ranks for all the 300 cars in the game, 300 plus, or however many there are, I don't even know. But yeah, so that is quite a bit of a tough ask, but I think my proposal makes a bit more sense. Why don't you tell me in the comments if you agree with me with my idea of how MP2 should work? Because again, I think driving, for example, oh, Jesus Christ. Driving currently a Class D car of a rank of 3,000, which is the top of Class D, it still doesn't make sense. Yeah, there might be, in theory, the best cars of Class D, but when they get matched against Class C or Class B of 3,000, they're gonna get destroyed. So yeah, that's no fun when it comes to that. But all right, I got defeated by 911 GT3 RS, and still we beat the Chiron that I was saying that is so much faster. So again, of course, it has to do with skill as well. And for the record, I'm not trying to skill shame anybody. Ah, an even better example. Over here we have a Speedtail, but even better or worse in a way than that, we got a Koenigsegg Agera RS right there. Now that thing goes like, what, 470 or something? At this rank, probably like 470, 470 something. That is over 100 kilometers faster than my car. Jesus Christ, do you see what I'm saying? So now, if you're wondering, then why not limit it so that it's only per class? 4,400 of Class B. Why do you want it to go for neighboring classes? Because I do feel like going super specific on only on the same class, oh god, that would make the lobbies quite smaller and they would take quite a bit longer for them to fill up. That's what I think. So no, that's why I believe there's the Agera RS, by the way. That's why I believe that it would be better if it also goes for neighboring class. And look, a 4,400 rank, or let's leave it at 4,000. A 4,000 rank Class B car versus a 4,000 rank Class A. The Class A will still likely destroy the Class B. But, you know, I still think it's a much more fair situation than a 4,000 Class S car. Now, obviously, there's also the whole issue of a bunch of cars that, you know, all of those very fast cars that at 1 star they still go stupid fast, but they have considerably low rank, precisely, you know, Venom F5, Tushek E-R9, Musclers, Mistral at the rank of like 3200. It's ridiculous. So all of those cars definitely do need a bit of work in those ranks, because yeah, they don't make any sense. Again, you can drive a 4000 ranked Class C car like the, what? Hold on, what beat me? Speedtail and Agera RS. Surprise, surprise! Gallardo. The Gallardo is a Class C car that at gold has a rank of about 4000. It's like 3900 and some, but it's almost 4000. Now that can compete currently against a 1-star Hennessy Venom F5, which goes something like 400. No, Venom F5 probably goes already over 500. Let's say that it goes 500 flat. 500 kilometers versus the 340 that the poor Gallardo does. Yeah, you see why I say that this makes no sense. Those really fast cars really need a bit of a rework when it comes to their base ranks. And I don't mean the adjustments that they sometimes game of those like, oh no, okay, we changed the rank, or rather we changed the stats, but now it goes half a kilometer slower. No, they need to rework not the speed of the car, but the rank. It shouldn't be going 500 kilometers an hour. Shouldn't have a rank of 4000. I don't think so. It should be like 4500 or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, I just don't like the way that MP2 works currently because of this. Like I said, oh my god, finally I'm gonna get a first place, blah, blah. Jesus, I had to get one in this video. But yeah, I don't know. I really feel like the matchmaking needs a rework. And look at this. Now, I did get matched against some Class S Defender, but Defender is certainly not a very good car, so okay. The Lamborghini S18. Now, that was a more fair competition against my Lotus, you know, because yeah, it's Class A, but it's not as crazy as a Class S. But anyway, I have jabbed about anything and everything in this video except talking about the actual performance of this car. So I should probably focus a little bit. So, when it comes to the Lotus E-R9, what is the deal with this car? Well, personally, I think it's a very fun car to drive. It is Class B, but like I said, it goes considerably fast at a top speed of like 365. Then plus Nitro 381, it's considerably strong. It actually can compete against the top speed of the average Class A cars. So that's already pretty good. The acceleration is really good as well. And honestly, while this car doesn't seem to be very floaty friendly, I think it has some pretty good drift. Not amazing or anything, but certainly a drift that can help you. This acceleration definitely does a bunch of damage. And in general, I find it a very fun car to drive, a very easy one to drive as well. I don't feel like this is one of those hyper high skill, high ceiling skill level. This is more of a chill one, and I like it. It looks weird. I just wish it was not electric, but hey, it is what it is. It's a fun one at least. That's a first place, beautiful. But alright, why don't you let me know in the comments what you think about all of these things that I said about the ranks in MP2. I know it had nothing to do with the actual car, but whatever. At the end of the day, it's a topic, and you know that I just do the yapping. That's kind of my thing. But yeah, if you like what I do over here, like, subscribe, and if you really like what I do and you want to support me directly, please consider joining the membership for access to exclusive videos with face cam without the blips and all of that stuff. But that's gonna do it for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.